if you want.
What's the humming?
We're live. I think we are live. The internet wasn't working good this morning. Just want look at that. I'm so dark. I tried putting lights on and everything, and the more lights I put on, the darker I got. Wanted to say hello to everybody, and we're all fine here. We're going to be doing a lot of videos on gardening.
Yes, we'll continue on that.
And nothing has changed. The hummingbirds are out and about, as you can see. I don't think we have anybody here, which is fine. I don't even know how many people have internet.
There's 10 now.
Because this morning I had a problem. And okay, we do have 10. And they did make an announcement last night that the internet, there could be problems on the internet because it's going to be jammed more than ever before. With all the kids being homeschooled, starting Monday almost nationwide. And then a lot of people streaming movies, even on YouTube. There's just
working from home.
Working from home. They said there's going to be a lot of problems. There's going to be a lot of internets crashing. Walmart crashed yesterday. My bank crashed yesterday. And they said they're working on getting that done. So tip, if you pay your bills online, don't wait for the last day. Because thank goodness I have 2 more days for one of my bills. And they're working on getting their internet running. So there might be a lot of problems like that with everything going on. I want to make a point here, and this is like a main thing I wanted to come on. I'm a fan of Dr. Oz. It's not like I watch him all the time or anything, but Dr. Oz has been making the rounds, and he's been saying there's 2 things to help prevent getting the virus, and that's vitamin D, natural vitamin D from sunlight, which a lot of us can't get. Oh, the sun's coming out. And also vitamin C, which he said he prefers in oranges. Now, he's been going all over saying this, and that's really, really good. But I'm going to say something. I'm doing it here because I don't want to make a video about it. I've kind of done it. It's not everybody, because a lot of you live in small towns and you get fresh fruits and vegetables that were picked in what am I looking for? Like in their community, out of their own farms. Those are perfect. But the ones that you're buying in a lot of your big stores in larger cities have all been irradiated. Once they're irradiated, they have almost no vitamin C. They're juicy, they're wonderful, they'll look beautiful, but there's no vitamin C in it. So at that point, if that's all you can get, my suggestion is go look it up, go Google it. Probably take a low dose vitamin C with it. I don't know what else you could do because there is no vitamin C in it. There are videos on YouTube on that subject by doctors and by the people that are doing all this. They do let you know that though there's minerals in it, there's no vitamin C. So that's kind of a little thing I just wanted to say. Keep in mind, there was something else I wanted to say. I don't know if you're going to say.
Down.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to say, if you've got orange trees or your friends or your neighbors have orange trees, and we have got a massive amount of orange trees growing oranges this year because of all the rain. I don't know how crazy everything's going to get, but pick a lot of them and you're going to peel them, right? Because ours peel really easy, and Gary's going to freeze a lot. And the reason I'm saying that is last year in Southern California, a lot of people, my friend, we bought him a blood orange tree and it just grew beautiful. It was full of blood oranges. Their neighbors, other people around Southern California, their oranges were robbed. They literally came in, people, and they stripped the trees. So with everything going on now and the food shortages going on because of people hoarding, this could happen. So you're not taking every single one off, I'm sure.
No, I'm
just we're gonna freeze a lot so we have it. And the other thing is when you're eating an orange, they say to eat at least twice a day because we don't retain the vitamin C. We use it, it's water
soluble.
And we don't hold that. We don't store that like other vitamins we store in our body. We don't store vitamin C, so it's good to get that twice a day. These are little things we can do from help to get sick. Now you can say what you have to say.
You look like... No, that's... I know a lot of people in say Arizona and Southern California may have orange trees in their front yard, and if they're ready to be harvested, I would harvest them now and freeze them, because chances are things will get worse before they get better, and you may end up having people taking your oranges. Or if you've got a garden in your front yard and there's something that can be harvested now, might be a good idea to think about harvesting it now rather than wait a week or so, because right now people are focusing on the stores, and eventually they'll probably be starting to look at people's yards. So
I never thought about it.
Just be cautious about things like that. Just be mindful.
They could even camouflage it with flowers and stuff, so if people walk by and they may not see a lot of food. I don't know what's going to be. I know John Kohler's been robbed, or people he knew have had food taken out of front yards. He's gone around, so it could get bad. I don't know. The stores here, I'm glad that I did my shopping about, actually 3 weeks ago I started, and the past few days have been miserable. We did an outing because I was short one thing I wanted, and I wanted glasses. Just safety glasses. Now, I know you're saying, oh, it's not going to save me if somebody, you know what? It's making me remember not to rub my eye. And if somebody did cough on me, that's the way I've gotten colds. Usually somebody walks by, coughs on me, and then I end up with a cold if they've had a cold. So it's just a little extra precaution. It's just a simple, cheap, I paid $1 for these safety glasses. And it's more for me to remember not to rub my eyes if I'm out. I'm probably not going out much. So I'm not petrified. I know some of you saw the video the other night. I was sitting here in the dark. I put up Christmas lights for the hummingbirds, but for 2 reasons. So they can stay warm because it's been really cold. And I think people should do that. It's going to be kind of a depressing time for a lot of people. I know my daughter is totally freaking out. I understand. So if she watches this, she has her reasons. She's got asthma, and my grandson's got asthma. The other 2 kids don't. My parents, they're up there. They're World War II vets. So they're up there, and they're scared. And it is a scary time right now. I mean, the average person will get this coronavirus, and the average person may not even know they've got it. But then, I'll be honest, I get a call from my medical group to let me know that I'm at risk because I'm in the older age bracket, they said. So now they told me to stay in and not go anywhere. I don't know. I'm not crazy worried about it. I just my biggest fear is making sure there's no run out of food for the animals. Because how do you explain to an animal you have no food? So that was the first thing we did. We stocked up on dog food, and we've got our animal food, and now I think we're good.
Yeah, we haven't really been reading the live chat, but hello everyone. Said hello.
It's across the room, so hello everybody.
Alicia, if you're going to take, it's best to just eat a little bit throughout the day rather than all at once. And yes, it is water soluble, and you will pay it out. And to freeze them, I'm just going to, because these
lift it up higher so they,
because these are mandarins, they come right out. I'm just going to freeze them like that. You could put them on a cake pan or baking pan if you wanted to, and then put them in a Ziploc bag. But what I'm going to do is probably take them whole and put them in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, my brother told me last night he doesn't have room to put a tray in it and freeze things. So some people may not. You were going to say something?
Yeah. Let's see. No, I'm just trying to read.
Oh, you're trying to read. The other thing you could do, if you are lucky enough to have a lot of oranges, or your neighbor, go to your neighbor. I told my neighbor, take all he wants. You could just cut them up and freeze them. If you want to leave the skin on, it's not going to taste as good, but it's healthy. You could chop them up, put them in the freezer. You can put them in the blender, and then you can just add in water and blend it up with skin and all if you want, and then strain it, and you'll get the nutrients out of the skin as well. And then you could throw away the pulp. Compost it. We're composting everything. You compost what's left in the strainer, but at least you're getting vitamin C, fresh vitamin C, because you're only going to get really good vitamin C if you're getting oranges that are off a tree, that haven't gone to a warehouse, haven't been irradiated. And those are the ones that are going to have the highest vitamin C content.
Yeah.
You can say which one.
Nikki, Monica, are hummingbirds migrating now?
Yes. Yes, they're even nesting. We've got some nests on the house. You can't see it from here, but they're migrating, and they're starting to go up north. I've had a couple people telling me that they have seen them already. So, and that was something that freaked me out. I put 2 orders in for Walmart for sugar, I don't need it, but I want to make sure I have some bags of sugar, and they have run out and they're out of sugar, and they're now putting a limit on sugar. There's a lot of food that's going to be limited. How do you explain to somebody, oh, I need all this sugar to feed thousands of hummingbirds? But we're good. We're good. We're good on it. But periodically, if I put an order through Walmart, I throw in some bags of sugar, whether it be it small or big bags. But right now they're running out of sugar.
And Amy M asked, do we make our own hand sanitizer? I was planning on doing a video on that.
He was so excited. He says, oh, I'm going to get this great video together. And
because I've got aloe vera growing.
Go ahead.
So I've got aloe vera growing, and I went out to get some alcohol so I could make a solution to make hand sanitizer. But the only alcohol that I could find was 50% alcohol. And the 50% alcohol isn't in enough strength. You need at least, say, 91%, more of an industrial alcohol. And that's harder to find. You'd have to source that.
You got to explain that.
You better
explain that, because, well, you're telling them to get 90, but that's because of the mix. You didn't say mix.
You've thrown me totally off.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You said you needed 90% to make your hand sanitizer. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. All right, I threw him off. Sorry. The thing is, the virus, the alcohol you get, if you were going to use it straight, has to be at least 65%, right?
Well, 70 is better.
Okay, so let's say 70%. So if you're going to wipe down your phone or something, it's got to be 70%. But if you're going to make your hand sanitizer.
Yeah, by the time you mix it with aloe vera or something like that, an aloe vera gel, then you're diluting the strength even further. So most of the alcohol you can buy at the drugstores, or the standard alcohol tends to be 50% alcohol and 50% distilled water or something. And I've even tried to separate it off by freezing it. And once the distilled water is mixed with the alcohol, it doesn't want to freeze. So it won't work in a regular freezer.
Sorry about that. I just want to make sure they knew that you can't. Where can you get the alcohol? That's industrial, so you've got to get that from like a massive feed store like Jeffers or something for cleaning for animals, or
somewhere where a tradesman would go to get his supplies for
for solvent.
Solvent and different things like that.
I don't know where you would get that, but that was the issue. A lot of people are putting up how to make hand sanitizer. And I see this come up all over Facebook and on the internet. And, just mix in alcohol with some the plants you grow, the aloe vera, and put in some mint or lavender in it. But the problem is the alcohol is only 50% now. They used to be 70. We found that old bottle that's like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And they used to be 70%. But now they've diluted them down to 50, most of them. And you might as well use water. I mean, you could use it, but they're saying it won't work for the virus going around. So that's the issue, is they've diluted it in the past, 10 years.
And I don't know the brands or much other than that, but Everclear, I'm not sure what that is.
Is that a brand?
That must be a brand.
The main thing is,
can you use Everclear?
I don't know what Everclear is, but when you get wipes, the reason I'm smiling is my daughter bought something on eBay. I don't remember what it was. It was like, what do you call it? The papers for the dogs, the wee pads. And the guy sent her about 2 months ago a massive case of hand wipes with alcohol, and they were strong too. They're like 80% or something, or 75.
Yeah.
And she called the guy and said, "You sent me hand wipes, like 10,000 of them instead of the wee pad she needed." He told her to keep them. She said, "He must be kicking now." He said, "Just keep them. I made a mistake." So she ended up with all those hand wipes. Look at what you're buying and make sure there's what you're saying, at least 70% alcohol.
Okay. Everclear is a straight alcohol.
Oh.
It might be a drink.
That's right.
So vodka
is good.
Very high.
It's got to be, they said, 151 grain. And vodka is very, very good. That's true.
The thing is, that's going to be more expensive. And to be perfectly honest, that's something I would use if I'm out and I have to get in my car and I can't wash my hands. So the best thing, and this is what the CDC and a lot of people recommend, is wash your hands in warm soapy water for at least 20 seconds or longer. And just constantly keep your hands washed, keep your hands away from your eyes, and just be mindful of what you're doing when you're out in public.
That's all we can do. If you can, don't go out. If you can, if you can answer questions, it's rolling so fast I can't keep up with it. But yeah, I don't know where you get. Oh, that's right. The straight alcohol is drinking alcohol, and I did see that is fine to use. You can use that, and if it's more expensive at this point, it doesn't really matter if you want to do that. Just wash your hands. Wash, wash, wash. My brother said even though he's home, he's washing his hands all day, and he's taking care of my parents, so he's got to be careful because I'm not allowed to say how old they are. My mother doesn't like that. Figure it out. World War II vet. And so he's going in and out. And if he goes in public, you were saying he's got to be so careful because they could come down with it and not even know that they came down with it. What were you going to say?
Oh, you brought your glasses out.
Oh, that's what I just talked about.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you missed that. I just talked about the glasses. It's even a mask. My friend was saying, well, mask isn't going to help you from getting sick. No, but the average person, touches their face, they said like 5 to 10 times a minute. So if it's there, you remember, because you forget. I mean, you go to wipe your eye. I just figured if I do have to go to the bank or something, I'm going to wear my glasses. They look good too.
The other thing I used to do, and I've been doing it since, but I'm gluten-free. If people don't know that already, I'm gluten-free. But before I went gluten-free, I used to catch colds and flus all the time. So I got into a habit of bringing my own pen with me. So I thought, I'm going to take my own pen with me. If I'm going to sign a receipt for a credit card, people go to hand me the pen and I already have mine. Now I get strange looks sometimes, but the idea is if you're holding your pen or you're using someone's pen and then you hand it back to them, and without thinking, you end up rubbing your eye on the same spot where you're holding the pen. So I stopped doing that decades ago, and now I think people are starting to point that out. You use your own pen.
That was on TV last night. That was one of the things I don't know who she is. She's going around from the CDC, I think, and she was the one that said to carry your own pen. I saw that last night. Carry your own pen and use your own pen for signing. Of course, when you're getting a delivery at the house, you have to sign their phone now. So just make sure you wash your hands. With deliveries coming into the house, I talked about that on my 45-minute video at night here. Anything we're not using, I'm just going to push aside. We're going to put it in a Chewy box, and when we need it, it's there because I'm going to quote Dr. Oz. I don't usually quote him, but like he said, the reason I don't want to use the word frightened. The reason he's so concerned about this is the average flu gets on a surface, he was explaining, and it could last for a few hours or a day. But this virus, I should say, not flu, this virus, they don't know. There's a lot of stuff they don't know, and they have actually tested it as far as 9 days out. So that's why I'm saying if you do get an order or if you start doing home delivery, which he loves now, and buy stuff a little extra so you're not going to use it right away, so you don't have to wipe it down. I actually wiped some of my stuff down with the alcohol wipes that my daughter gave me. But you can put it aside because in about a week or so, it should be gone on the surface. We just have to be careful. I mean, I get a call from my medical hospital saying, don't go outside. You could possibly not get through this. I mean, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to keep my immune system up. I'm going to be more diligent in the garden. I mean, I got to admit, I went days and days without even drinking a green drink or eating. I mean, I ate out of the garden, but I get lazy. I'm human. I get lazy, and I think we're going to eat more that way. We're going to be more conscious on what we're doing. Are you? You always are. You walk through the garden and eat all day. You're like a cow. You're just, or a goat. You're just eating all day. But I tend to seem to be working a lot in the house or doing something else, and I'm not eating as good as I should be eating. Greens. My sister-in-law, I don't know if my brother's on or not. I'm so excited for her. He goes home with a great big compost tub we gave him with worms and everything, and he's built up those regular tubs I use, full of worms, and he treats them like they're his pets. Feeds them, compost, but he wasn't growing anything. She was coming home from work the other day and went to a nursery and bought a massive amount of plants, pots, and I just heard she bought a raised bed. They're going to get plants growing. And that is really, really good because in this, I'm going to say in time of crisis, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know how long this will go on for, but it can't hurt to grow something, be it even something really small. I mean, Swiss chard grows so fast. Couple leaves that you could put in your soup. Lettuce grows really, really fast. We have a lot of seeds here because I kept seeds on our own. They bought seeds too. So I'm really excited that they're doing that. And I think a lot of people are doing that. Morning Gardener, I don't know if he's there. He talked about it the other day that seeds are disappearing. People are buying seeds. And I never thought about that. And he's right, because if my brother went out and bought seeds and my sister-in-law, he didn't know his wife goes to the nursery and buys plants. And my brother's going out and getting seeds. There's got to be a lot of people thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
hand it to you.
I'm thinking. Hi, Jason. I'm thinking you're the one that left a comment that when you get wood chips, you run them through your own chipper and then you add your worms to the wood chips. I just saw the comment.
When you go ahead.
Yeah, I know it's a little.
It's across the room, so
yeah. The screen's across the room, so it's a little.
Well, like Sandra's saying, we need to grow food. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to start thinking about it. And like I was saying, I'm going to dry a little bit. I'll make a green powder. And it's so easy to incorporate such simple food that you're growing, whether it's in a flower pot, you're growing a kale. I mean, like last night, you said, boy, this is good. What'd you do to it? Minute rice. 2 cups of quick minute rice. That's not the healthiest, but it's okay. 2 cups of water. Boil it up. And in the meantime, and a green bean. I had some green beans in the garden, so I chopped that up, put that in with the minute rice. And as that is doing its own thing, I put a little bit of salt, a little bit of butter in there. While that was doing its thing for 5 minutes, I went and got a few green Swiss chard leaves, a couple tree collard leaves, the smallest ones, some onions, and I put it in a chopper. So I chopped it up real quick. It looks like sawdust. Dumped that into the rice, stirred it up, and he thought I made something fancy.
Yeah, it was like.
And I didn't cook it. See, it was already in the hot rice. Go ahead.
It was kind of like a little bit like dirty rice, if people know what dirty rice is, but it was more of a green rice.
It was good. I'm going to do it again.
It was good.
It was really, really good. And that's fast. And that's why a lot of people have been asking me to cook. I don't have any recipes. I come into the house. I look at what I'm going to do today. I go outside in the garden, grab a bunch of stuff, come in and cook. But I am going to do that. I'm trying to fix up the kitchen where the camera can get in there good and just get an idea. You don't have to cook like me, but just ideas. We all get ideas from everybody. And that's the whole idea of everything. We're all getting ideas. I wish I could go through all the questions, and I'm going to have to go through them later because they're rolling through. It is a scary time. You know, I've grown up with a lot of things, and I thought the riots were bad. I thought 9/11 was, of course, one of the worst things ever. And it was the quietest time when all the planes, there wasn't a plane in the sky, and we stepped outside that time. It was so quiet, but you didn't see what was going on now. Like you go to every grocery store the other day. It was yesterday, wasn't it? Gosh, I'm losing track of time. Friday. Every grocery store with lines and baskets, and my sister's texting me and showing me shelves are empty, and my brother's texting me, and my daughter, and everybody. It's scary. It's scary. And then I've had 2 orders bumped out of Walmart. I got my friend signed up because he doesn't know how to use a computer. So I just signed him up here in the house, gave him his own account, went through stuff, said, you need this, clicked everything, and he got an order. They did cut the order in half, but he got most of his stuff because he told me he had nothing in the house. Who lives with nothing in the house? I got enough for a day or 2, he said. I said, no, that's ridiculous. So he's got food. Go ahead. What were you saying? I know I'm going to have to lean to try to read.
The riots were in 92, I think. You, she picked up that you said you drove through 2 riots, but
the first one I would have been the Watts riots when I lived in LA. That was really scary. And then the second one was about 1992. The sky was black. We weren't near the area, but people were afraid. They didn't know what was going to happen. I saw people all over the streets out here wondering if it was going to move out here, and it didn't. But where my parents live, a lot of the buildings and everything were burned to the ground. But I'm just saying this, lived through a lot of stuff and lived through different flus. But this is, I've never seen. Have you ever seen anything like this where people are grabbing?
No, this is going back to 1918. So there's no one alive that's gone through anything quite like this. Not in this country or in Australia and in Europe, most of Europe. I know it was bad in Europe during World War II, but this is a different type of thing. Activist Granny has potatoes growing wild in her yard, and that's a good thing. We have Swiss chard growing in our yard wild. If you can plant a lot of different vegetables, you might end up with something that'll just self-seed and take over your yard, and that's a perfect plant to just let go. And if you don't have to take care of it as much, that's a good plant to grow, because you can then focus your time on other plants that need to be worked on. And I've got a number of things like seasonally, my rocket or arugula comes up seasonally after it rains, and then it goes to seed, and it's going to seed now, so I won't have arugula until next year, but that's a plant I don't have to take care of. And there's a lot of weeds, things that people consider weeds, that if you let grow, you just let it grow and pull all the weeds you don't want. Like we've got sow thistle growing in our yard that we eat as a green. And that's something that in our climate, in our conditions, grows really well. And there's all sorts of weedy plants that traditionally a lot of European cultures used to go and eat. Like the Italians I know, the Russians I know, they used to go out, and it's kind of a peasant food to them. And it's something you can have and leave it in your yard, let it grow. And when people come in, and if they're going to look around your garden, they're not going to recognize it. So if something really bad happens and they come in and take all your tomatoes, then you still have something there, that you can use.
Do you remember, it was a year or two ago, up on top of the hill, there was a whole bunch of Asian women. Yep. And they had bags, and these looked like elderly Asian women. I said, what are they doing? And you found out, were they picking wild mustard?
Wild mustard. Mustard.
They must have found out it was up on the hillside, and they came and they were filling up bags of it. I haven't eaten that.
Yeah, wild mustard tastes like mustard. And if you're in a place where it'll grow wild, that's not a bad plant to just leave and let grow and self-seed, because that'll give you a leafy green that you don't have to take care of. And there's a lot of examples everywhere in the world where you can think, well, there's something that keeps growing, rather than go to the trouble and the work to pull it out, find out what it is. And if it's something you can eat, maybe incorporate that into your garden.
Well, whatever you grow, if you've got something that just takes off, keep the seeds. Like I'm only going to grow romaine lettuce. That's all I'm going to grow. I have romaine lettuce that goes to seed. It doesn't get real big, but then it goes to seed. It's probably my fault when it goes to seed, but it grows like a weed. So, and they're easy to pop out and transplant. You can just pop them out with a fork or a spoon, and you can move them. They don't seem to go in transplant shock like some other plants might. So I'm going to be growing a lot of different lettuce. The only thing with lettuce you have to remember is they like a lot of water. So you have to make sure that they get a lot of water. If they don't and they start to dry out, then they'll bolt. And though you can eat them, the leaves are kind of bitter at that point. But I'm going to grow a lot of lettuce. I'm going to continue with seeds and cuttings of dinosaur kale, because I can incorporate dinosaur kale, any of my greens, into something else that I've stored. Let's say I went and bought a lot of cans of soup. With one can of soup, I'm not even a soup eater. I don't even like soup. Gary's the one that loves soup. But I can take that can of soup, and if you got wild potatoes growing, you can chop that up. If you've got some meat or fish or shrimp or whatever in the freezer, you can put a little bit of that in there. You can take greens from your garden, and you can put that in there. You can end up with this like a stew out of a can of soup. And it's no work. It really is no work.
Yep.
So I'm going to be doing a lot of that. 3 weeks ago, I went to the store. I'm going to say it was 3 weeks ago. And one of the big stores out here had a famous name brand soup. And they had a lot of gluten-free. And I went in there and bought like 100 cans. Nobody wanted to buy soup. I'm putting it in my basket. People are telling me I'm crazy. And I said, you got a flu, a virus going around. It wouldn't hurt to put soup. Why do people kept telling me, why soup? Because you can do things with soup. And if you get sick, you're not going to want to go out, nor should you go out. Or if you don't want to go out, you've got food. And people thought I was crazy. And I couldn't understand that. I begged people, you only have to buy 5 cans to get it for $1 a can. And they're usually like out here, they're 3 something a can. And they wouldn't buy the soup. They would not buy the soup. And my friend worked at the grocery store, and he said they were loaded. Nobody was buying any soup. So I loaded up on soup. I managed to talk one man into buying some soup for his elderly parents. All right, he said, I'll buy them soup. And I think he bought them 5 or 10 cans. But nobody was buying soup. And even when this started, how long has this been going on with the toilet paper and water? Would you say a week?
It seems like it's only been a week, yeah.
I don't know. Everybody, I'd go into the store, they put the soup on sale again. Not all the varieties, but at least most of them. And they're all buying toilet paper and water. And I look at these people. The shopping carts were full when you go. I pull into the lots. I go into the store, and their baskets are full of toilet paper and water. No food. I can't, unless they've got a farm. No food. And I asked so many people, why aren't you buying food? Oh, we don't need food. Oh, you have food in the house? No. We eat out. Okay. Don't you want to have a little bit of food? No, we don't need food. So many people now eat out, which I guess is okay. I don't want to put that down, but I can't understand that, because I think ahead. I think like, if I get sick, I've been sick. Before we started gardening, I don't know how long ago it was, I ended up with the flu. Gary caught the flu first. I'm going to say, time goes by so fast I don't remember. Would it have been about, is it close to 10 years already? When I had that bad flu?
Yeah, 8 to 10 years.
8 to 10 years ago. He caught the flu, I caught the flu. My daughter's calling. How's my mom? She doesn't want to come over here. And he's going, she's fine. He was half dead too. He was sick. And he didn't realize how sick I was until he started to get better. And my immune system was down. And I wasn't going to the store. He wasn't going to the store. And you don't want to go to the store and contaminate everybody else, let alone you don't even feel like it. So I can remember that. That's why every year, what I do, usually this time of what you were in spring, usually in the winter, I get things I may need. I might buy some cough medicine. I might make sure I've got whatever, Tylenol or something. Keep a few things in the house, and hopefully I never have to use it. And so far, for many, many, many years now, we don't have to use it. But have it there, because when you're sick, you don't feel like going out, nor should you. And then the other reason I wanted to stock up is in case this got scary and bad, that I could stay in the house. I'm hoping this whole thing's going to blow over. I don't know. I'm just hoping everything's going to go away. It's not going to be that bad. But you know what? I'm very much in preparedness. I've always been that way, and you especially have been that way. So I just say, if you can get something, get something. If you want to start ordering from, let's say, Walmart's got it, Aldi's has got it. I don't know if Albertsons and Vons have got on home service. I do know Amazon's got it. My daughter absolutely loves Amazon. Everything comes from Whole Foods. The only difference is, for me, it's just too expensive. You're going to have to, at this point, order extra in case they're out. And if you don't know which one you want to go to, go check out all the stores and get a shopping cart online and throw everything in there and look at the stuff, what it would cost and what stuff you buy, and then decide which store you want to go to. You don't need a club membership or whatever they call it for each one, because they're about $100 for the year. And I decided myself to go Walmart. Of course, I haven't gotten anything now for quite a few days. Every time I put an order in, they bump it out because their system crashed yesterday, and then they did call me and tell me they're out of food. they're going to get food. There's food in warehouses. They're going to get food, but the mass hoarding going on right now, it's not just hoarding, it's people want to stay home. So they want to make sure they have enough food. A lot of people are not going to work. You got kids now that are not going to school. Next week, they're all going to be homeschooled. My granddaughter got a Chrome. Is that what you call it?
Chromebook. Yeah.
Chromebook. I don't know where the school got the money, but my daughter told me that they're getting a Chromebook. So they're going to be all working from home, and the parents are going to go crazy. And they need food in the house. So there's a lot of reasons people are getting food. And so I just wanted to be prepared. I've got enough if I have to share with my daughter, my brother, my sister-in-law, my sister. I can easily get in the car and drive wherever I have to for that. And if they need oranges or they need greens, but now my sister-in-law actually went and bought full-size plants. So this way she can immediately, she said, start to pull greens and parsley and different things she bought. What else? I know a few people looked at that video I did in the night here. I wasn't even sure if I should put it up. You looked at it and said, put it up. I wasn't going crazy. I was just thinking. My brain works it may be a little different than some people, and I was thinking. And it's very hard for me to shut off my brain. And that's basically what it was. It was thinking, because I really didn't think about what was going on until I saw the stores and the lines, because that is new. And that's when I thought, oh my gosh, we are in some sort of crisis right now. Hopefully, like I said, it will just blow over, but heck, the soup, you can still use it a year or two past the date on the can. So it's going to last for years. Most of the soups I bought are good for 2 years. Say something. You look like you're going to say something. I'm going to take a break. If you can read any of the questions.
Yeah, I've been trying to.
I did put it up, Sandra. Sandra's saying put it up. That's the one I put up the other day, 45 minutes sitting here all rugged up. I got so cold, I think because I got nervous. It's just I don't know, just the way I think about things. And he told me to put it up. So.
Yeah, we're in Southern California. That was way up the screen earlier. Someone asked where we are. We're in Southern California.
I can't even
the
roll
delivery
back.
services, I think all of them, because it's a supply chain thing right now. So a lot of the delivery services for food, like Amazon's using.
Wisconsin's got their schools closed too.
Amazon's using
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. So they're taking the food from the Whole Food stores and delivering them. So you've got the supply chain issue that there's only a certain number of truck drivers, and if they expect to have an orange and sell it maybe 10 of these a day, they'll have 10 delivered. So right now they're selling more than that. So the store shelves are being emptied. So when it comes to food deliveries, the people that are taking the groceries out of the Whole Foods and the Walmart stores and bagging them up, there's nothing on the shelves until the next delivery. So all the delivery times are being pushed down the road. So I think Walmart was pushing it down maybe 2 days. Now it's more like 4 or 5 days. And I can imagine Amazon would be doing the same thing, because they bring whatever they've got from the warehouse or the growers, wherever their supply chain starts, and every step is being slowed down.
What's the term you said? There's a term.
Just in time.
Okay, so most stores, that's the term, just in time. So they know what to order. It's like the first thing I noticed is I went to a Sprouts. I went because they had shrimp on sale. I thought I'll get a little bit of shrimp. And when I went in, this was probably almost 2 weeks ago, the butcher told me they're out. You're out of shrimp? Yep, we're out of shrimp. I said, why would you be out of shrimp? Because people are starting to buy things so they have something that, that they like. And because they can freeze it, they're out, and they don't order that way. It's like you call just in time. They have it all calculated, he explained to me. They know exactly how much they can sell every day. And there was such a massive run, he couldn't believe himself that all that food was gone. And that was probably, I'm going to say, just under 2 weeks ago. So that's the problem. That's why I'm saying there's going to be food. They're just going to have to recalculate on how much is going out of the stores they'll know how much to bring in. Of course, there'll probably be a shortage on some stuff.
There will be shortages because we live in a just-in-time world where it goes for manufacturing and everything. If a car company needs an airbag, well, they have to order. They know how many they're selling this year, so they have to order for next year, and it takes time for the supply chain to catch up. So things are going to be a little difficult for some time. And with a lot of products coming in from China that aren't coming in now, I know that's going to cause a few problems too.
It's not even the product itself. Sometimes it's the containers are made in China.
Or the ingredients.
And DS said she tips, she's got delivery service. I did too, and I told my friend when I set him up, tip the person. And you said you were so excited. The last girl actually brought it all in the house.
Yeah, you tip them because, that's part of their income stream. That's part of how they make money from the tips. They're kind of almost like waiters or busboys at a restaurant. They get part of their income is based on the tips they receive.
Nancy doesn't trust. You don't trust the government. You can't. You really got to think for yourself. You really, really. I'm so much into that. You've got to be prepared for yourself. And I know a lot of people have come back and said to me they're going to let God take care of them. Okay, and that's fine. And that's fine. I mean, I am not overly religious. I am, but I'm not overly religious. But I've been taught differently. God is giving me the strength to take care of myself. And if I need it, I will pray to him. But there's like these old proverbs, like there was a man who fell off a ship and he's in the ocean. And you probably heard it. I don't know exactly how it goes. And he's praying to God and praying to God. And he needs help. And a dolphin comes by and he pushes the dolphin away. And then a man comes by in a boat and says, here, let me help you. No, he pushes that away. And one by one, these different things come by to help him and he dies. And he goes to heaven and he said, God, I prayed. Why didn't you come help me? He said, my goodness, I sent you a dolphin. I sent you a boat. I sent you all this stuff. Why didn't you go? He said, oh, I was waiting for you. We need to take care of ourselves first. And while we're taking care of ourselves, I also thought ahead that if I have to give soup, if I have to give powdered milk, if we have to give rice to a neighbor, to a friend, to my family, we're prepared on that too. So we have to take care of ourselves and think about people that are close to us and maybe even people you don't know. It doesn't matter. Whatever. The main thing is if you got a little extra, we can help somebody else out too. I can't wait for the government to pull up and give me a load of groceries. To be honest, I don't even expect that. Maybe I'm totally wrong on that. I don't expect that unless in time of crisis. And I don't think we're there yet. I think we need to pace ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to protect ourselves in the littlest ways, whether it be a pair of glasses and a mask. And let me tell you, even when I go to the doctor, I wear a mask. Why do I wear a mask? Because I can't get a flu shot. A few years ago, they realized that when I get a flu shot, I get this lump on my arm, and they tried it on the other arm, and I got it there too. And they realized that my body thinks there's something foreign coming in, and it builds a wall. And then that stupid wall sits there for almost a year. It's so hard and sore. So that I told them I would take a flu shot if they could promise me I wouldn't end up with cancer or something. And they said no, because they don't know what to do with that. So they won't give me a flu shot. But I did get a pneumonia shot. They said no matter what last year, they wanted me to have a pneumonia shot. So I've gotten one. There's supposed to be two, and I wasn't ready for another one. And for some reason, I didn't wall off or do that to the pneumonia shot, only to the flu shot. So I don't understand that. So I can't have a flu shot. I think we do need to take care of ourselves. I think we do need to get together with our neighbors and friends. If you can't garden where you are, maybe you can with your neighbor and friend, and don't throw anything away. Even peels from this will all dry up and turn into compost. Start composting paper. When you say paper, there's no nutrition in it. And so let's say you don't want to throw away simple white paper. You're actually not getting any nutrition from the paper. And this is what a lot of people have to realize. What it is the paper is composting down and bringing microbes. What you're basically feeding on is the waste from the microbes, as if you had earthworms. How would you explain that? Because it's the microbes and the bacteria and everything going in there and breaking it down.
Yeah, and yes, and earthworms.
And your earthworms?
Everything, all the little, yeah.
So you can compost that. If you don't want to compost, newspapers and stuff with ink, don't do it. I throw a little in there. I mean, like I said, I've got trash pickup. I've got to pay for it no matter what. So you can compost like grocery newspapers, stuff like that. If it's a soft paper, if it's a shiny paper, I wouldn't. So just, you want to start building up your own soil, because why not? I'm like I said, I'm going to go through, I'm going to think about what I do, because right now I just go through and break a lot of leaves down, throw it in containers. I'm going to dry a little bit, make some dry powder. I'm going to dry stuff for chips. You like kale chips. And be a little bit more frugal is what I'm going to do. And I am going to compost, a lot of different things. If you can answer any questions, they're rolling so fast, I can't.
Yeah, it's not.
Anne says, I'm here.
What? Yeah. I think it'll start getting more and more cases in larger cities where there's more people in closer contact. And
eggshells, yes. Go ahead.
Cities where you've got international airports where people are flying in and out of, like New York and Los Angeles, Atlanta, O'Hare, places like that, where you've got people working at the airport, maybe coming in contact with people that are traveling through. So if you're living further away from major metropolitan places, you're less likely to come in contact or hear about anyone coming down with it. I know my hometown in Australia, they've tested 20 people and no one's come back positive yet, as of yet. But it is in Australia, it is worldwide, and you just have to be vigilant, and there's nothing wrong with being overcautious. You're better off being overcautious than just sort of brushing it aside, thinking it's no big deal. Because if you're wrong, well, there's no harm in being wrong. If you're overcautious and you're wrong, there's no harm to that. But if you go about things and think it's no big deal and you're wrong, then it could have consequences.
It couldn't even hurt. They're saying to wash your clothes now. This is really like, if you're over 60, a lot of them are saying they don't know what's going to be with people over 60. They don't know how long it will last on your clothes, they're saying now. So, you could even have one pair of clothes you wear when you go out. And if you're not going to wash all the time, just put those clothes aside somewhere, wear those out when you come home, change clothes. I know there's not much you can do with your hair and stuff. But you could just do the best you can. I haven't gone out since Friday, I guess. Was Friday the last time we went out?
Friday, yeah.
And I don't even know if I want to go anywhere. I tried to put orders in online, but they keep running out of food. I'll see if I get my order Thursday. I don't know what else to say on this. To do the best you can. I have been through this in a very small way. I don't want to get into details, but there was like years and years ago dealing with animals. I've dealt with animals, that there was animal diseases going around at that time, had nothing to do with people. And you had to take a shower after dealing with animals, because you didn't want to bring anything in and out if you have other animals. And I did have to wash my hair. I did have to have a separate pair of clothes. In fact, the clothes had to be washed or put smocks on. That was to go in and out with animals. And that's, zoos deal with that, and a lot of facilities that are dealing with animals know exactly how to deal with this. So, I don't know if you've ever dealt with that. With animals, dealing with having to change your clothes and stuff.
Yes.
You have. Okay, because I thought you have, because I know I have. I went into years and years ago, went into a quarantine station, and they took me off they needed some help with something, and then they didn't know they walked me into the wrong area, and they literally grabbed me out of there and disinfected me and showered me up, because you had to be careful. You don't bring things in and out. Well, that's why I know a little bit that maybe I don't know, maybe I will tie my hair up and put it under my hat when I go out, and I knew that the glasses, anything, any little thing, because you don't know where it's, if somebody coughed on you. I mean, I was at the store 2 weeks ago, a lady walked up, I was buying you those little candies you like. She walked right up and coughed in my face. I couldn't even believe it. Just walked up and then she just, bam, coughed in my face. And I just thought, wow. So this is why any little thing might help. Any little thing, you don't know. You could be as safe as you can, and then somebody's sick and coughs. So that's why I just wanted to get on and say, be very conscious of who's around you. I know there's things, say 6 feet away. It's impossible, I think, to stay 6 feet away from anybody when you're out, but you can try. And if you want, wear a mask. And if you don't want to do that, you can wear a bandana. Anything would help. The whole idea is to make sure that when you do go to rub your eye, you're going to be conscious, because you're going to hit the glasses or you're going to hit the mask. And then when you come home, wash your hands, use whatever hand sanitizer you've got. Use that. I've got that in the car now. And that's basically it. I don't even know what else to say. But if you can, I'm going to go by Dr. Oz. I'm going to eat I'll probably eat more, 2 oranges a day, because I know my oranges are coming off the tree, so they are loaded with vitamin C. And he said to split it, because that will build our immune system, and then get vitamin D temporarily. Because he said we're not going to get enough sunlight. At least we're not here. And I know most of the country has been flooding and having things, because those are the 2 things he was saying. I watched a couple different things he said yesterday that will help build our immune system. I really can't think of anything else besides, I would like to see everybody garden. I know a lot of you are my hummingbird people and you love your hummingbirds, and I do too. And don't worry, they're going to get well fed. But put a flower pot out there with something. Look, rosemary, anything. Rosemary is really good. I promise you too, I'll get that pizza recipe up, because that is so easy and so fun to do. And that you use a lot of herbs. I don't know what else to say. Anything else? I can't even go through the questions. There's like hundreds of questions. Okay, so there's a lot of people talking among each other, and that's really, really good. You don't want to panic. I'm not panicking. I'm thinking. I don't want to panic. I am not in a panic state. I'm in just the state of being aware. And panicking and getting too upset. I've been trying to keep my daughter from not getting upset. My brother was so upset the other day. He went and took a nap, and that's out of character for him. Because that will bring your immune system down too. All we can do, I mean, you've got the regular flus around and colds, and that can do a lot of damage too. So what we want to do is just be prepared. Think about, if you got a cold, what would you want in the house? And put it there. It's not going to cost you anything except for buying that. And if you don't use it, good. That's the better thing if you don't need it. But you've got it. You can use it for something. It's a can. It's frozen. You can use it anytime you want. Just think about that. So if you do go to the store, put some stuff that if you got a cold. Do you want to buy some juice? I did this the other day, and these are grape juice bottles. They have really hard lids, and I did a video on attaching it. And the reason I did a video is I was coming home with the water bottles, and I'm in the car and I want to take a drink, and I can't open the water bottles that easily without touching this. And once you touch it and you take a drink, you've touched everything. You've touched doorknobs, maybe money, handles, shopping baskets, items on the shelf that people pick up and stuff. So I came home and I started looking, and I thought, I'll attach the lid, very simple, with some wire. The video's up. It's only a 3-minute video. With some wire and the glue gun worked really, really good. I put a penny on top. Now, if I have the filthiest hands in the world, and I did touch somebody that had a virus, when I go to get a drink, when I'm out, I don't need this in the house. I know that whole top of this bottle is clean. It can't go anywhere. I'm not tipping it over. Nobody's going to be coughing through the little seam there. Just in general, you don't have to worry about where your hands have been. Did you put enough Perel or whatever on? Your bottle will be good to drink. Your kid should have one. You know, and this is just the greatest thing. To me, they should make these. A lot of them, I don't have any sitting here. I've got them somewhere. You have to flip the tops. So that means you're handling it. Or you've got to pull it open. You're still handling it. Or you've got to, well, that's your cup. You wouldn't take that out.
No, I use that in the yard.
You know, so this way it's closed. If you had it in a shopping cart at the grocery store, somebody coughed on it. Even if you handled it, it won't matter. If you keep it in the car and you want to drink water, it won't matter because your hands will never touch the whole top half. So that's just little things I started thinking about. Actually, you know, made this couple weeks ago. And just little things. I can't think of anything else. I know I might sound like I talk this way. I talk fast. Look, when I was in grammar school, the teacher once asked me, a few teachers, do you ever breathe? Do you stop to breathe? So I do talk this way. I've been this way forever. Gary's the quiet one.
There was a question that's kind of way up there now. Might have been Nadia Raza asked. They've moved to a new house in New Jersey. She's concerned about her soil and.
Oh, it's going to be impossible.
No, there it is, right down the bottom there, where the blue arrow is.
Okay, if you can read it.
In red.
That one. Okay. I live in central New Jersey. We have had bought newly built house, and are you reading it? And finally have a yard.
She's skeptical about the soil. Any ideas how to find out if it's okay to plant in the ground?
We don't do testing ourselves, but will a nursery be able to help her?
I'm not sure. You can get your soil tested. We haven't had ours tested, but the other option would be container gardening.
I would do container gardening and then get some potting soil or garden soil from your garden store and mix it and start putting in leaves, grass cuttings, or whatever you want, or just start growing in it because you'll end up with your own leftovers to add in there. And what else would you say?
That would get you started. And some state colleges, I know New Jersey has a good agricultural college. Can't think of the name of it offhand, but there's state colleges that deal with agriculture. Often they'll test soil for you. I'm not sure whether it's free, but I think it's inexpensive. That would be something to look at.
Keep talking. I'm answering.
No, I'm just trying to think of the college in New Jersey, the big one.
Somebody will tell you. They're emptying out, I guess, UCLA. My brother just texted. They're getting them out of there. A lot of places. They want the kids home.
Okay, and Alicia said the county agricultural department might be able to help you too. I know you can get soil test kits probably online. Princeton, that's the college. I think Princeton's got a good agricultural department. They've developed a lot of plants, so they might be able to help you there.
Somebody's telling me there's a troll in there, but there's no way. I don't have anybody controlling this, just us, so there's no way for me to get in there and do anything. If I spot him, I'll take him off. Oh, I see.
Okay, there is a troll in here.
What does that say?
Report message.
I don't see it.
What did you find the troll?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Okay, I got one off. And there's another one, I guess. There's a few of them on there, but there always is. I can only. Okay, there's another one.
I swallow. Go
okay,
away.
Keep talking and I'll look for it real quick. I got rid of one, so.
I swallow.
You see it?
No, I
saw
that
it.
Come up. Okay, retracted.
Okay, they're gone. All right, there's always something. That's their hobby. Go grow a garden. What else is there? Is there really nothing else I can think of offhand? I really want to see people grow the littlest things. You could take something that doesn't have a whole lot of vitamins in it, because I know the soups don't. But by adding in some chopped parsley, some Swiss chard, a little bit of dinosaur kale, something alive, then you're bringing in all those enzymes and all the good stuff into your body by mixing it. I'm not perfect. Are you perfect?
No.
I'm not perfect. I am the first to say I'm not perfect. But now I think I'm going to be a little bit more diligent. I'm going to go through my mint more, and I'm going to do it like I do. I've got some videos where I'm going to blend it up, and I'm going to make mint tea, and I'm going to freeze it. So all I have to do, I don't have to think, oh, I don't have time, I don't want to make it. I'm just going to grab an ice cube out of the freezer and drop it in some water. So now I'll have fresh mint tea, or just you take it fresh.
Well, right now I'm drinking my nettle tea. So I let the stinging nettles grow wild, and I harvest the seed heads. The seed heads are just starting to form now, and that it helps me. I'm not a doctor. It helps me with my arthritis, and it also helps me with my allergies. So I drink stinging nettle tea. I sip on it all day. So right now I've got to get organized and harvest my stinging nettles and freeze those before they.
He almost got. Let's see, it's Robbie and Gary gardening. You almost got Gary gardening. He comes in with stinging nettles about a week ago.
About a week ago.
And he's telling me to eat some. I said, no, I've never eaten it. I don't want to eat it. No, try it. It's so good for you. He doesn't tell me anything about it. I always look everything up. I look up and I read and I read. I've read all the CDC stuff about the virus. I've been reading. I always didn't read anything on stinging nettles. Knew nothing about stinging nettles.
Yeah, they
you knew, and you should have told me. Let's see us getting a big argument on live.
I harvest the small leaves, but I try to go for the seeds, because the seeds at this time of the year are more nutritious. But I guess I got a leaf or a couple of leaves that did have the stingers on them, because usually the small leaves, and because I'm a bush Aussie, I can deal with stuff like that. And while I was getting my tea together, I told Robbie, just try it, you know.
So I put it in my mouth, but what I didn't know is when you eat it, you're supposed to open your mouth and put it on your tongue, and your saliva will break it down. Well, I put it in like I eat. I don't know. I just put it in my mouth, on my lip. Within seconds, I said, "What the heck did you bring in?" He said, "Just stick." My whole lip swelled up. I had a huge lump. My mouth swelled up. It went into my jaw. I almost thought about going to the doctor. My whole face swelled up. And this is over a teeny little piece. Obviously, I'm allergic to it. Well, no, I'm not allergic to it. It said most people cannot eat it. It can actually be deadly if you don't eat it right.
Yeah, it's something that...
I don't want it. I don't need it. It's not going to make my life better to be eating or drinking stinging nettles. He can deal with it. See, I can't even pick it in the yard. My hands swell up. So I should have known better. I haven't touched it or thought about it in a long time. So if you ever want to try something, don't get it on your lip, because the first thing I did was go Google it and found out you can't put it on your lip, because if there's any stingers, what it felt like is when I put it in my mouth and I went to eat it, it felt like somebody gave me a shot in the lip. There was a needle on it. It went straight into the lip. So then it went all around, and my jaw, I couldn't even talk. I was talking like this. So I could have done a video like this. I couldn't talk. My lips swelled up. My neck swelled up. I will say it only lasted a couple hours. I think in a couple hours it all started to go away, and he wanted to know if I wanted to know how to use it the right way. I'll stick with my greens, my normal greens. I don't need stinging nettles. I do use sow thistle, so that's why I was like listening to him. He loves his stinging nettles. You're saying you feel even better with it?
Yeah, I've got arthritis in my lower back, which also causes sciatica at times, and this stinging nettles work for me. It also gives me a little bit of it makes me more aware drinking it. It's not like coffee where you sort of get hyped up on it, but it's it keeps me awake. It wakes me up a little bit and gives me a little bit of energy.
And it swells up my throat and my mouth, so I'm staying away from it. I don't need to do it the right way. I don't need it. Like I said, I'll stay with my mint, and there's plenty of greens in the garden, and I'll be doing that. I can't think of anything else. I don't want to go 2 hours on this. I see there are people coming in and helping her out with the test kit, where to get tested. And I just wanted to let you know we're not going away. I know there's been a few online gardeners that have said they're going to not be doing some videos for a while.
Yeah.
But we're probably going to do more. I hope so. I'm going to plant my lettuce. I want to get my deck garden going. Not like I did last year. It's like, oh, well, the plants are alive. They're not an animal. I have to get that mind frame out. I don't need them. Pull them out, get something good in there. I've got some lettuce growing all over, like little tiny lettuce growing all over on my deck in containers. Well, I need to separate those, because if you leave them in a clump, you end up with a clump of tiny little lettuce. Because, well, there must be, I'm going to think there's a hormone or chemical that doesn't allow them to get big. This is my thought. I don't know this, but when you separate them, they've got space and then they take off. So I need to get those separate, because that's an important staple, whether I want to make a wrap out of it, whether I just want to eat it. Kitty, my Yorkie, loves lettuce too. And then we like making tacos and different things. So we use a lot. I like lettuce, and it grows good. The lettuce that's been seeding here, which is a romaine lettuce, grows really good. I had done a video on a lettuce that was green and red. I can't think of what it was called. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It was green and red, and I was so excited. I planted it and it grew, but it did grow good. And when it seeded, the seeds didn't grow good. So I bought them, not seeds. I bought them as plants, but they just didn't do good. So if you get something that's growing in your yard, those could be the best plants to plant back, because then they do really, really well in your climate. The whole thing is a climate. You got something different here and something next to me. It could be a little bit of temperature. It could be more sunlight. It could be damper on one side and drier on another. Your whole yard has a microclimate. So whatever it is, the lettuce grows everywhere. So I'm going to grow a lot of lettuce and going to grow a lot of stuff. Boy, that plane is coming in low. Anything else?
No, I can't think of anything else.
I'm going to try to go through the questions. I know a lot of you probably think I'm mean for not going through them. You've got to understand, I try to go through the newest ones, and then I end up going through the older ones, and there's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. I would be doing this. I would never be able to catch up, because tons of stuff comes in every day. So I try, and I don't pick and choose. It's just something is in front of me, and I try to answer a bunch, and then I got to go do something else. And I come back, I don't know where I was. So that's the thing. And like I said, I wish I could go through this, but there's a lot of people on, and there's a lot of questions. Oh, thank you so much. She loves us both. I can't even read the name. Arts Pro. And I can't think of anything else, but a lot of you are answering other people's questions, and I appreciate that a lot. I can't think of anything else. We're going to garden a lot. I will still be doing the hummingbirds, because I need to do my dots. And so I haven't gotten that together, because I've been doing other things. So I will be doing more on hummingbirds, and I just lost it out the window. Oh, I do that a lot. Where is that? Oh, yeah. I'll just leave that there right now. And there'll be a lot of different things on exactly how I make my food. I can even just do it in front of you so you can see how I do it, which I've got a few, but I'll do it differently. And I can't think of anything else. I've gone over a lot of hummingbird feeders. So I'm not going to stop the hummingbirds, but I want to get a lot more on gardening out there too, and different things. And even me walking through the garden, I do nature walks periodically and talk about that. I saw my first oriole came by, even came to the feeder. So they're here, but the males only. The females come in about 2 weeks later, I think. So the females should be coming in pretty soon. Then they'll nest in your banana trees. Yeah. Do you have any bananas?
I don't have any ripe ones.
No ripe ones yet? Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, they appreciate us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I will try to go through everything.
It's a two-way street. We appreciate you too.
It makes me so good when somebody comes and says, "Oh, I never gardened before," and it's really easy, and that makes me so feel so good.
Swallow is back in there. See the bottom there? Put hide user. That one.
Oh, I don't know what it says. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm not real good at this. So nobody can see the stuff he's writing right now. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, well, I'll have to get my sister or my granddaughter to do this one day and be able to go through it. Or somebody be able to just go through and do this. But this was kind of a last minute thing. I thought I'm just going to come on and didn't want to panic anybody as I was sitting in the dark talking. Put some Christmas lights out. If people are feeling like sad right now, throw some color out there at night. My sister-in-law told me she's going to turn on some Christmas lights. You don't have to do the whole house. A little bit of color. This show, the light, you can't see it, but I've got the Christmas lights here and they're on. Why are they on now? I guess the hummingbirds can sit on it. Technically, they don't have to be on, but they're on. And I think a little color right now, people can use a little color. I love color. That's why I don't really have a favorite color. I just love all colors. I think something colorful would be really cool if you've got a few lights you can put up. And just try to keep people's spirits up. It's going to be tough. I know, like I said, I know my mother is just so scared. And we had places that we needed to go and a lot of stuff got canceled. And I can't think of anything else. If you can see any questions offhand, somebody said, click on the name and a little screen will come up. Didn't I do that already?
You did.
Okay, she's trying to help me. Somebody else helped me last time when I was doing that. I may not have gotten everybody. I saw one. I guess I did. Did I not do it?
Yeah, you did because it's in gray, I think. See how the messages are in gray?
Yeah, I'll have to. You know what? And I can go through afterwards too and take it off. It's so hard when there's people like this. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't even guess what people think.
Jason Evers they put up some solar powered strings of light.
Oh, that is nice. Just bring the rainbow. Look at that. She put a rainbow up. Nighttime tea chats. Nighttime tea chats. You want me to come on at night and do a tea chat? Is that what she's saying? Am I reading that wrong?
It says if you pop out the chat, you can put on the side and make the font bigger.
No, that's not what I'm reading. It's this one. Robbie, please, nighttime tea chats. Maybe. You know what? If more and more people are going to be stuck in the house, maybe I will do that. We can all just have some tea together. I think that would be fun. I was almost going to do it that midnight, but then I thought, no. And then I get a phone call from my mother. Why didn't you get dressed? People want to see you dressed up. Oh, well, what are you going to do? But I really can't think of anything else. I actually want to get out to the garden today because today it's not raining and we're supposed to get a lot of rain all week.
All week it's going to be another wet week. Today is the best day.
Well, today I would like to get a bunch of mint in. I've got spearmint growing and chocolate mint growing, and my peppermint is starting to come back. It's still a little cold, and I want to get mint ice cubes made, so I'm getting good food. I want to just make sure I've got good food in me. Do I eat perfect? Again, I do not. I do not eat perfect. But I want to make sure that I fuel my body up with at least good food as well. I'm trying to see if there's anything else you want to say before we sign off. We don't know when they come. Okay, so these might be people talking among each other. So,
yeah, Nancy Pippo was asking about.
The hummingbirds.
When the hummingbirds come to North Carolina.
A lot of the cooler places, if they're not warm enough, they really don't want to be in under 45 degrees, I think, at night. Probably not till end of April, May, maybe on some of them, because they're going to come there to nest. like I said, I was surprised they started nesting here already, and it wasn't even that warm. We've had warm winters, and it was kind of cool.
We're getting rain now that we should have gotten earlier in the year. So our rain came a little later than normal.
I want to thank everybody, and I will try to get through all this later. I'm going to go do an inventory of what I want to work on in the yard. I've got stuff in the deck, and you've got to get those purple tree colors planted. I planted one. You bought a whole bunch, but that will be really cool. And I can't think of anything else. The only notes I put on is start seeds. You can start seeds in anything. If you want to start lettuce, you can even start them in little food trays if you've got. And
Alicia wants you to do a video on lettuce inside the house.
Inside the house, boy, then you might need, I don't know if you'll need lights for that unless you got a good window with sunlight coming through. My throat's getting dry. But anyways, you can start lettuce by sprinkling it, and then you can separate them as they grow. So that's why I like lettuce. So anybody can start seeds anywhere. But I will do something. I want to do the lettuce I've got a kind of an odd idea of how I'm going to grow my lettuce on the deck. I'm not even 100% sure it's going to work, but I think it's going to work really good. It's just something I was thinking about. So I can't think of anything else. I've got a dry throat from talking for over an hour straight. I don't even know what the date is today.
Today is the 15th.
Oh, no. Oh, my. I was supposed to do a garden tour. I didn't even know. I have lost track of the days. Okay, maybe a garden tour. I'll see if I can get that together. It's going to rain tomorrow?
Yes, but I don't know, not all day, but
I'll see. Maybe I'll make, I don't know if I'll skip it or I'll do it. I completely forgot. The 15th. Shame on me. Let's see, January, February, March. Oh, March has got 31 days in it. I learned that as a kid, so I could do it tomorrow. Anything else? Oh, her moringa died. Plant another one. The seeds grow really easy. They do like it warm. Just plant more seeds. Seeds are really easy to grow. Just keep them warm.
Yeah, what can you do if...
What is this? It's asking me to show it. I don't think there's anything bad.
Review.
That's Sandra.
Sandra.
Yeah, she can put now they're putting on, they're holding things for review.
Not sure what she purchased bleach, cement mixer, used lettuce.
Yes, do a garden tour. Okay, I'll do it. If I have to, I'll do it in the rain with my hero. I've never done that. I should do a garden tour. Did I do the truck bed already? I don't remember when you did the truck bed. And the bathtub. Gary's setting up the bathtub for the deer. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, there's water in the bathtub.
There's water in there?
Yeah, I put it in the other day.
You didn't tell me, but water in.
Well, last Monday, I think I went and
I know
I got
you
the plug.
fixed it all, but I haven't walked all the way down to the bathtub.
Yeah,
because it's been raining all week. Okay, I got to go see the bathtub. You'll see it with me. Yeah. I'll see it when I'll go out with you because I want to set up a solar fountain in there, and I've got ideas of how I want to set up the bathtub, and hopefully the deer will come back and not eat up my whole garden. No, they won't. No, I'm not worried about it. There's not that many deer. There's 6, so I don't know. Oh, they're coming in so quick.
Yeah, the truck bed is actually Robbie's garden. So I
think that's Sherry. She's growing radishes and tomatoes. That's fantastic. I want to get my tomatoes growing really good. And I'm not growing any radishes right now, but I'm growing these carrots that I picked some the other day. Oh my gosh. Little tiny, I bought them. They're little tiny carrots. I thought, well, maybe I'll grow those. And they did grow. They look like radishes and you pluck them out.
I'm growing daikon radish.
You never did a video on that.
No.
You brought one in and the thing was like that big.
Yeah, I should bring more in. And we've got the radishes from your truck bed of self-sown on the hill the other side. So we've got, I can't remember what variety.
Yeah, but if you leave them there, the rabbits will eat them all.
No? They're leaving the leaves alone.
Okay,
because
I didn't know.
The leaves are spicy like the radish. So
it's on the ground growing or on the truck bed?
It's on the ground growing, and I don't think the rabbits are running past them all the time. I don't think they like the
Okay,
taste
I'll have
of
to
it.
check it out because I went down to the truck bed. I didn't go to the bathtub. I went to the truck bed last night because I wanted to make the rice. So I picked out of the truck bed. That's got the best Swiss chard in my garden instead of hiking down to yours.
If you do a garden tour, just look over the other side of the retaining wall, and you'll see that there's radishes growing there.
I wonder if I should move them.
You could move them.
Or put a cage or something over them so nothing eats them.
Perfect stage for them to be just dig some up and transplant them wherever you want them. I could. Time. I don't have time.
I know, you always don't have time. I'll have to look. I haven't looked.
A long garden tour.
A long one. Yeah. Then I get the thumbs down and people screaming, "Why is it so long?" I'll do a long garden tour. I will do a long garden tour. I don't know if I can start it today. It's already getting late. I don't even know what time it is. No, I'll do it tomorrow. And if it's raining, I'll figure out something. Maybe it won't rain in the morning. I think they're talking with each other. Yeah,
I'm just trying.
And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm trying to say Milka.
I can't remember
Milka Americas,
without getting on. Go ahead.
She grows on the 9th floor.
Oh, perfect.
So
do a video.
She's talking about container gardening, but she's talking to Abadaban.
Okay, that's good. That's perfect. That's why I'm so afraid to read names because I figure I'm going to butcher the names. Knowledge. You know what? I think we're all learning as we go.
Yeah.
I've told the story on my hamsters. I don't even want to get into that. There's another hour there. And I think we learn as we go and we try something and it doesn't work. And that's fine. It doesn't work and you do it again because you figured if that didn't work, you have to try something else. And I think we're all learning as we go. And that's why I know why I lose some of my lettuce. And now I've got another idea on how I'm going to get the lettuce to grow. And I figured out how I'm going to do it. And I think what I'm going to do should work really good. And we'll see. I got to get it planted. I haven't planted it yet. Getting ready to do that. I think this week it's been like, should we go to the store? Should we get something else? And it's been an odd week. It's for everybody. I've been, like my brother said, turn off the TV and don't watch the news. So it's really, really tough. And I've been watching the news in New York, how bad it is there. And I don't know. So we'll have to figure it out. I think if worse came to worse, and we could not go anywhere, if they actually did a lockdown, I would be fine. I may not have everything I need, but Gary's got his chocolate. We bought chocolate the other day. No, we've got our garden. We've got a lot of cans. We went and got tuna, and I've got frozen food, and we would be fine for a while.
Abadaban.
Oh, she's telling you
how to phonetically pronounce it.
Say that again.
Abadaban.
Okay, well, that's perfect. Okay. I'm just so afraid. I look at names and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to say somebody's name wrong.
Well, yeah, I have trouble with my vowels, my A, E, I, O, U, because
you have an accent.
I have an accent.
I know. Yeah, then you teach me something, and then it comes out really odd after I say something, and people will say, "What'd you say?" So I have to go to somebody else who speaks English, American English, to get some of the names. Like there was something I couldn't say warbler. He's trying to teach me how to say warbler, the bird, and it just did not come out right. So I went to my friend. I said, "How do you say that?" He goes, "Just warbler." That's it? Well, I was learning from you. It was really coming out weird. So we have a lot of warblers around. Okay, I can't think of anything else. This went way longer than I planned. I will maybe do some nighttime chats, tea. I think that would be really nice. I don't go to bed that early, so that would work out good. And even if it's just chit-chatting and talking about anything. Because I think we're in a really different time right now. Something, like I said, I've never seen before, and probably nobody's going to see for another 100 years. And it's sad. My niece, she goes to UCLA, and she's so depressed that she's coming home because she's made so many friends from all over the world. But the thing is, it's not just her coming home. They're all going home and the college experience. But it's like sometimes it's hard to understand what's really going on. So she's looking at it that way, and my nephew's stir crazy, and you've got all these. It's so unusual. This life right now is something we've never seen before. It's not our choice. A lot of stuff. It's things that are just happening around us. So
I've got my sister-in-law works at a grocery store in Australia, and they're dealing with things being cleaned out as well. And then I've got my aunt and my cousins who live further out of town, and they don't quite understand maybe that how things are in larger cities. So it's going to affect people differently wherever they are. I know in Europe, a lot of the European countries are closing down, and I understand that's going to be a different sense of, they're going to have a different sort of, what would you say? It's going to be different for everybody wherever you live throughout the world.
Well, it is strange here. I mean, to know that you can't just go to the store and just pick up, okay, well, they don't have that brand, I'll get that brand, and there is no brand. There is nothing there. So it's it is a panic. It's basically, the kids are going to look at it differently than adults are going to look at it, and because it's totally out of the norm of everyday life. This is not everyday life right now. So we just have to adjust, because it will pass. It will pass. But we just have to adjust to what's going on. And we do need to think about things that we need for ourselves. Things that we can have in the house. Peanut butter. There's another one. You buy peanut butter and you've got it. You've got it if you need it. It stores good. I can't think of anything else. But
okay, so the Netherlands are locked down too, but they can go out to hospitals and supermarkets are open. So everything else, I guess, is shut down.
I saw New York doesn't even have enough beds right now for ICU right now. So it seems to be doubling in a lot of countries, the amount of people. I don't want to get sick, so I'm trying to do the best I can. I mean, my worry is sometimes will we both get sick? That's what worries me. So, because somebody's got to be taking care of everything. And so that's kind of what worries me, but we'll see what happens. And I'm going to be very, very, as careful as I can be. That's all I can do. Be aware and be as careful as we can be. And we want everybody to stay safe and well. Grow a little bit of food, because I truly believe that even the smallest amount of really good food can help, because your body's just going to grab it. It's like, wow, it's there. That's why I want everybody to grow something on their windowsill. That's a pepper. We can't eat my pepper, but that little pepper's got to go outside. And then we're just waiting for the weather to get a little warmer. It's been so cold. There's times it drops back down to the 40s at night. So once it gets warm, we can just gung-ho go into the garden and start planting stuff outside. Anything else you want to say? I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, and like I said, there's just tons of questions and statements, and my niece is in Corona and can't find food anywhere. Yeah, I haven't been out today at all, but I have seen the videos. There was a Costco not far from us that somebody put a video up that literally went blocks and blocks and blocks. People were standing in the rain yesterday trying to get in the Costco. Now, like you said, it takes longer because you've got cards. You're carded in there.
Yeah.
Where we drove by for fun, not fun, but we wanted to see what Walmart was like. And people were going in and out of Walmart because they can get in. Now, how much food is in there? I don't know. I don't know what's in there. We didn't go in. We only went to 2 stores. Said the first store I wanted to go to was I wanted to get safety glasses, and I was shocked Friday to find that she still had safety glasses, because that would have been the first thing I thought some people would grab, just to have a little bit of something on them, just so you're not touching your eye. And then she still had food, because she's a small dollar store, so they still had food. And then the grocery stores here were not in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, my brother went out at 8 a.m, I think, and they were already gone. Shelves were empty. And here, because we're in a smaller area, They weren't. We could go in there and there was still food, but it's probably gone now.
Yeah, it's kind of like dropping a rock in a pond, and the ripple effects just going to spread out to smaller communities.
Yeah, it's just, well, I think as soon as people figured that out, what's going on, and you can't blame people because some people have a lot of kids and a lot of people living in the household and they need the food. And it's been on the news all last night, people running to get food. And there's just not a lot of food. There will be, but the stores have to come back with the new norm of how much they need in their store. So they all have to figure this out. It's not like there's no food. They just have to figure this out. All I wanted to say is if you do have fresh oranges, and I've noticed even driving around, a lot of people have orange trees, get them off. There will be people stealing oranges. They did it last year. There wasn't even a virus or anything. They just did it and freeze a lot of them. And then you can just throw them in a blender, strain it, because this way you don't have to deal with seeds. You just strain it, get a strainer with big holes. And just with water, you can take a whole bunch of these oranges. You can peel them. Sometimes Gary wants me to leave the peel because he knows the peel has, nutrients and vitamins and stuff in it. You literally, or you didn't try to poison me with that.
No.
Literally can take oranges, throw them in a blender, pour in some water, blend it up, get a strainer. I'm not going to go get it. A strainer with bigger holes, not real fine holes, and then drink the juice, and then the rest compost.
I'm not sure which.
And then you don't have to deal with anything. It's that easy, and you're getting water. So it's half water and half orange juice. Doesn't matter. You're getting fresh orange juice.
I did bring in some kumquats.
I'm not a big kumquat eater. You are.
Yeah,
No, you can eat it. If you
peel and all. They're a good.
Yeah, that's another one if you've got it. But I've noticed a lot of oranges around town, just driving around the streets because of all the water.
That's a good citrus to grow. You can grow these in small pots. Well, you can container garden them. I wouldn't say small pots, but kumquats are good. You can grow them in colder climates and bring them indoors.
Oh, she's telling you, okay. Is it Activist Granny?
Yeah.
She's telling you to make a solar oven. A cheap solar. We could. Here's the thing, though. You could. You probably would. But right now, we have gas. We have electricity. We have a generator. Gary bought a generator years ago if anything happens. So we don't have to worry about that. And we have water. If we don't like it, we put it through a filter. So we've got all that. The main thing I want to make sure is that we have food. But it is true. You could make a solar oven one day if you want. Yeah, but you got a barbecue.
I've got a barbecue.
Beautiful barbecue in the trash he brought home. It sounds like it's trash. It was brand new. Still had the sticker on it. They got tired of it, I guess. So he said he's going to set up the barbecue. And then you could cook on it. It's got a burner on it and everything. I don't know. It's still sitting. A lot of people are still talking among each other, and that's really, really good. I'm trying to read this. Homeless. Oh, kept open past the winter season. So lucky homeless people are okay. The homeless, they're worried about in Los Angeles. There's so many homeless. What's going to happen if any of them get hit with this virus? They won't even go to the hospital. So I don't know what's going to be. A lot of people look at this and they say it's just a scare. They're scaring us. I don't think they're really trying to scare us, but I think the news does blow things up out of proportion. But I'm not reading the news. I'm actually going on to the cdc.gov and I'm reading their stuff. I do watch the news, but when in doubt, if somebody says something, I go to the cdc.gov and I go deep into all their stuff they've got there. Literally, it's not just the front page. Go into the stuff they have written for doctors and caretakers and all that and start reading all that, what they are predicting is going to happen. And that's the stuff I was reading because I sent something to my brother. I screenshot it and sent it to him. And he goes, well, I don't believe all that garbage that people are putting out. And I said, that's a screenshot off the CDC. And then he went, oh. So that's why the best they want us to be is prepared, just to be prepared. And we don't know. And I think what's scaring everybody so much, the people working with this new virus, is they don't know anything about it.
Yeah, 4 o'clock's hummingbirds do like 4 o'clocks, but we're trying to reduce the number of 4 o'clocks that we've got because they tend to take over here.
We do have a lot.
We do have a lot.
I
But
think
what
there's
I'm
some out
trying
the
to
window.
plant more aloe vera, because you can use aloe vera as a medicine type plant, and cannas. I'm planting a lot more canna edulis for the hummingbirds. So if we're trying to plant plants for hummingbirds, which combines our gardening, our eating, with bringing in the hummingbirds, I'm trying to go for edible or medicinal plants.
Linda Hernandez, she watches the commercials to help support us. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't even sometimes. Thank you so much. I think I'm done. I think I've said what I wanted to say. I didn't want anybody to get scared that something was wrong the other night. I was just thinking, and that's a good idea. I should have just turned on and said, hey, I'm going to have a warm cup of tea and let's just chat. I could have done that too. You were sleeping that night when I did that anyways. It was really a log for myself. That's what I really did. I sat down because I've even videotaped myself making something because I made you something and you asked me to make it again and I couldn't remember what I put in it. So sometimes I put the camera there just so I'll remember what I did. And I videotaped that because it was like, what was going on? After going to the store and seeing all this, I was in shock. I was shocked that so many people were looking for food, and it's just something in my lifetime I have never seen people looking for food. And so many people are asking me like a week and a half ago, why are people grabbing water and toilet paper? What's with the water? We all have water. And I was telling my daughter and some friends, I think because here in Southern California we have an earthquake, we tend to grab water because that's what we know is going to maybe be affected, because when there's an earthquake, pipes get jolted and then sediment comes in and they tell you to boil your water before you drink it or don't drink it, get bottled. So I was thinking that route, but I think what happened was, I think in general all over the world, because you pointed out what's going on in Australia, it was like nobody knew what to expect. Nobody knew what was going on and they still don't. So I think the awareness now of the water and the toilet paper, Gary said I'll use banana leaves, but if worse came worse. I think the thing with the toilet paper and water is it's something they know they use every single day, but they weren't thinking about the food they may want, because a lot of people do eat out. My friend eats out. And that's what I was saying to him. I don't want to say his name, but he didn't have any food in the house. You know what I'm talking about. And it's like, and he doesn't know how to run a computer, and he doesn't know how to, he doesn't drive. He's got a few challenges with some things. It's like, I told him, you cannot be in the house with no food. Oh, I'll be fine. No. So he's set up. And so I think a lot of people just didn't think about that they should put some food in the house. I would say at least a month's worth of food. You know what the Mormons do? I used to watch that Mormon channel because they had some really good shows I liked. They store for a year. A lot of Mormons store for a year, and they'll put these drawers that they pull out from under their bed. I was watching, they put all kinds of canned foods, rice, pastas, and they rotate it through. And they even put chocolate chips because they said they can bake with it and they can keep their children happy. So they give a treat. And they are in a mind frame, a lot of them, to make sure they've got a year's worth of food. And I think that's fantastic. So it kind of brought that back when I remembered seeing that. And I think we just need to be aware that we don't know what's going on, and be aware that it probably will blow over, and stay calm. And kind of, if you don't have to go to work, garden. Try to fly in. Garden, and do something. And it isn't good to stick with the TV all the time. I agree. Right now, they're pumping all that bad stuff at us. Go online. You want to find out about test kits for your garden, go Google it on YouTube, testing soil, and then go through them, because you get a lot of videos that sometimes they put things up. What does that say? Well, I think I can let that one go. They put things up and I'm going to have to say this, some of them are just flat out not true. It's just totally not true. So don't pick the first one. look through the different videos on what you're looking for and analyze the video and use common sense. That's the biggest thing, common sense. If it doesn't sound right, then just go Google it and look up what they tell you on certain things. So I do it both ways. I think that's it. We have gone into well over an hour and a half. You have anything else to say?
No.
How's your wood chips going?
My wood chips are doing well.
How's my lettuce? You took my lettuce. Did you do that video yet?
No. The lettuce are doing good in my wicking bed.
Okay. Did you do the video?
No, I did do the video.
Oh, you did do the video.
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't been down there. I'm going to have to hike down there. I should do a long garden tour and go from my garden to Gary's garden and spend 3 hours online.
This rain will really kick in the wood chips because it's good nitrogen, oxygen-rich water that'll get
that'll be really
right
nice.
in there.
Yeah, I have to do. It's getting cloudier and darker, and so I'm going to have to do a garden tour tomorrow, probably in the rain. I know I skipped one, and I think it was, I can't remember if it was the February one, in mid one. I skipped one because there really wasn't anything new, and it was just raining and raining. All right, I'm going to hit that little button that says end stream. I can't think of anything else. I know a lot of you had questions and comments, and I want to thank everybody. I want everybody to stay safe. Stay calm. Stay calm, and just if you do go out, get some stuff to have in the house that you can use in case of an emergency. That's basically it. And watch YouTube. Oh, love you too. Thank you so much, everybody. Night. Oh my goodness. Where are they called? Where are they from? That it's
Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
Yeah.
I was thinking of trying to figure out how to do it where we could get Australia and everybody in, but since I couldn't figure out how to schedule that, should get the morning gardener to tell me how he schedules it. Maybe next time, and then I could do nighttime chats and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll do more. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Stay safe. Get some flower pots around, something really simple. This is some seedlings that are coming up on their own of dinosaur kale. Get some things growing. And in the meantime, get some canned foods, dry goods. And that's basically it. Maybe a little water filter if you really wanted it. And that's basically it. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And stay safe. Bye-bye. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Grow something.